Hello, everybody. It is Tuesday, June 2nd. Welcome to another episode of San Diego's New Normal. I'm your host, Luis Cruz. Joining me this afternoon is Stephanie Myers, Advisory Board Member for Saved in America, an organization dedicated to combating child sex trafficking. Stephanie, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me, especially in these times. It's so important as our children are spending more time online. So I think it's great to bring awareness to what's going on across the nation, but most importantly in San Diego.
Yes, I mean, you mentioned more children are spending time online. You're concerned that children could be at greater risk for online exploitation. Tell us why.
So now that we've been on lockdown due to the coronavirus, our predators have gotten even harsher in reaching out to our children. They have always reached out to our children normally, but now that everyone's home, school is out, with the release of many of our predators and prisoners from variety of prisons across the nation, they are targeting our children more than ever. Kids are spending more time online, social media, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, even video games. Our predators are luring our children away. So I think it's important that we recognize we have a huge situation in our hand and really in our backyard. San Diego is a hot spot for human trafficking. And the one thing that I want to make clear too, and especially now with what's going on in our state, is that we fully support law enforcement. We have active law enforcement within our organization, retired law enforcement. Now more than anything, we need to protect our families.
So you're an advisory board member for Saved in America, which is actually headquartered in San Diego. Tell us what it does and how it helps families.
Yes, of course. We are a nonprofit. We're a registered 501(c)(3). We work tirelessly to locate missing and runaway children throughout our volunteer network. Our network encompasses retired military, active law enforcement, retired law enforcement, special operators, Navy SEALs, ex-Navy SEALs. We are certified, we are licensed, and we're insured private investigators. We are trying to combat human trafficking. We are nationwide, even though we're headquartered in San Diego. We have more than 100 reserves across the nation, and we are here to help locate and save the children across America.
And Stephanie, how did you get involved with Saved in America? I mean, this is not your full-time job, correct?
Correct. This is not my full-time job. One of my dear friends also serves on the board. Another dear friend is the head of the board and also the founder. We have similar backgrounds. I do not have children. This was a great organization that, since I don't have children, I'm going to save your children. The other thing too is my background is in the Department of Defense. Considering our volunteer network and what I just stated, this collides specifically with my background. I'm also in technology, and Saved in America utilizes very special social media intelligence to help locate and retrieve our children.
And Stephanie, how big of a problem is this in San Diego and across the country, really?
So in San Diego, there is an average of 3,000 to 8,000 children that are trafficked each year. Our average child that is trafficked is 15 years old. San Diego is the second hotspot for trafficking. Keep in mind our border, tourism, our conferences, our convention center. The other thing people need to be aware of is that an estimated $810 million a year, this is a black market, largest underground industry. That is how much money is being generated a year. The other thing that I want to make known is we need to ensure, and people are going to be shocked by some of these statistics, 1 in 5 kids have been sexually solicited online. The other thing about San Diego that's important, our pimps, our predators, our traffickers, no demographic is safe. I don't care if you're in a low income to a high income, everyone's a target. As of now, every single middle school and high school within San Diego County has an identified pimp and trafficker recruiter at their school.
All right, we do have some tips for you, and we want to go over those as well, of what parents should be on the lookout for. But before we get to those tips, I do want to show you a brief video of the mission of Saved in America.
These were her favorite lights. They'll stay on till Emmy comes home.
Everything leads us to believe that she's being hurt.
I think she's trapped in a human trafficking situation.
Missing children are the most vulnerable to fall victim to child sex trafficking. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children estimates that 1 in 7 runaways are likely sex trafficking victims. Some studies find that within the first 48 hours, 1/3 of these children are recruited into the underground world of child sex trafficking. Saved in America is a nonprofit organization that assists parents and law enforcement in the recovery of missing and exploited children, all at no charge. %60 of these children were located before falling victim to sex trafficking. Saved in America consists of an all-volunteer force, which includes Navy SEALs, special operators, and retired gang and narcotics police detectives, who are all licensed and insured private investigators. Once we initiate a case, we work closely with the family and with law enforcement. All reports and other intelligence and information are all given to local, state, and federal law enforcement agents. When a child is located, we serve as a referral entity and assist in procuring legal representation, safe housing, and rehabilitative therapy.
She's safe and she's back.
They never gave up on us day and night. I just can't be grateful enough to them.
When we see the look of that parent or that mother who gets her child back, that's why we do what we do. That's our payment.
It's great to see the work that Saved in America is doing. Just some quick stats that I want to talk about. The average cost to rescue a child in the state is $6,250 per child. The average cost to rescue a child out of state is $12,000 per child. It's really not a lot of money when you think about you're saving someone's life.
Exactly. And the other thing I wanted to mention too, Saved in America, for those that have been sexually exploited, we also assist in procuring legal representation, safe housing, and rehabilitation. We also have a scholarship foundation where we want to get our children who we have retrieved back on the right track so that this does never happen again. A lot of the children that have been trafficked, they have been obviously exploited. They're vulnerable. It's very important that once you receive a child that they do have legal representation and they do have a safe house to go to so that they do not go back to their pimp, because that's what they're used to. You have to understand the children we retrieve and we save have been so beaten down, not only physically, but mentally. So it's very important that we get them back on the right track. So we also have that scholarship foundation.
That's great. And Stephanie, how is Saved in America funded?
It is 100% privately funded. We have fundraisers all across the country. We will be having one coming up in Arizona very, very soon. We have support from key individuals, donors all across the United States. We actually had a human trafficking, sex trafficking awareness in Washington, D.C., but we are a registered 501(c) and we're 100% privately funded.
Let's go over some tips now. I do want to put up a number if someone needs your assistance, but Let's talk about some of the tips that parents should be on the lookout for, and we call these the 5 steps. GROOM is the acronym. Tell us a little bit about what parents should be on the lookout for.
So this is our 5-step groom. This is how the pimp and predator is grooming your children to be trafficked for sex. So the first step is they're going to gain their trust. That predator, that pimp, is going to try to gain the trust of your child. A child who could be experiencing difficulty at home. They could be vulnerable. They're going to try to gain their trust, whether at school, because remember, I did state we do have identified pimps at every school, or online. And right now, most of it obviously is happening online. They're going to befriend them. Remember, they're fake. They're trying to lure your children. They're going to start developing private communications with them. So the first part is gaining trust. And that's why I always tell everybody, my neighbors, my friends who have children, this starts at home. Make sure you have a loving environment and that your family, that your children can trust you with good, bad, whatever type of communications. It's important that your children trust you and not gain trust of a predator.
And the second step and the R is require intoxication.
So remember, we're dealing with gang members. We're dealing with street gangs, the cartel. We are dealing with some very violent people. What they try to do when they gain the trust of your child, they get them addicted to drugs and alcohol. They get them addicted to drugs and alcohol. They start with marijuana and go all the way up to stronger narcotics. One of the reasons they're doing this is now they're building that codependency. They want you to have to codepend on them because they don't have any money to support now their addiction. So that's what they do. Once they build that trust, they now are going to get you hooked onto narcotics and drugs.
Step 3, operate from alienation of family and friends.
Again, we're dealing with gangsters. They're going to show you, like you hear in the rap songs, our life is better than the life you're living at home with family, with whoever you live with. They are showing that they have the life, and they're going to alienate you. They're going to pull you away from your family and friends, and they are going to show you that they are better and you should trust and be with them. And they're going to show you, even though they're going to act like it, they're going to act loving and caring. They don't care. They're unloving and they're uncaring, and they're getting ready to exploit you.
Step 4, open immorality.
They have no morals or laws, none, zero. So even if you have a child who grew up with a good conscience, morals, family, values, all of that, they are now breaking you down mentally to show you morals and vows and laws. Who cares? They are trying to change your thought process and the way that you look and approach things in life. They are going to try to pitch you against your family. Oh, your family doesn't want you to have fun. Oh, they're just being too strict. That's not real love. I'm real love. They are going to teach you what they think are the new set of morals and values that you should have.
And finally, the M and step 5 in GROOM stands for money.
It's all about making money. Making money shows that you love them. And again, they are going to traffic you. They are going to make money off you. A pimp in 1 year in San Diego can make $100,000 per child. It is all about money. They don't love you. They don't care. They're using you to exploit you.
All right. So there are some steps that could be helpful in helping recover someone. It's the 6-step recovery process, and the acronym is RESCUE. Tell us a little bit about that, with step 1 being record.
Of course. So when somebody reaches out, if any family wants to get more information, go to savedinamerica.org. A family can fill out online applications. You can email us at info@savedinamerica.org or call our hotline 760-348-8808. This is what happens when we go rescue and try to retrieve your child. So now we know a child is missing. The initial parent contact, Joseph and the team, our amazing team of volunteers, they record and they gather intelligence. They're now building a case for that child on how to plan and execute that retrieval. So right now we're doing the recording. The parents have reached out, law enforcement may have reached out, or we may have seen that there's missing children. We're going to start documenting everything.
Step 2, examine.
What we do is we have access. You saw who our volunteer base is. We have social networking intelligence that we can do. We are going to start to examine social media, their cell phones, their friends. We're going to start incorporating all the intelligence, and we're going to develop a law enforcement liaison, because now we are going to work directly with the police. That is another thing, a tip that I give out to every parent. Make sure you have geolocation on your children's phones, watch their laptops, have every password. And by the way, while I rattle through all this, it's not just children. One of the cases that I have seen, the oldest woman retrieved was 60 years old.
Wow.
So this goes in a variety of age groups as well.
Step 3, summarize.
So now we have a case management. So we have maybe an active police officer. We have a case management. We're going to incorporate all the social investigations. Now we're going to investigate leads, stuff that we may have found during our exam phase. Due diligence. We're going to take those leads for further review and investigation.
Step 4, coordinate.
Now we're working with all the leads on this case. We're confirming every single lead. We are coordinating with our law enforcement, and now we are at the point where we're developing our actual recovery plan.
Step 5, unite.
Unite is our recovery plan. What we do is we briefly review our recovery plan with everybody. We execute the identification, we notify law enforcement, and we execute the recovery. We go and retrieve that child.
And finally, step 6, equalize.
And this is the most important phase as well, too, is like I stated earlier, rehabilitation. We have no idea what these pimps and predators have done to our children. So the first step is rehabilitation, criminal prosecution, and civil prosecution. So it's very important that we hold these folks accountable for what they're doing to our children.
And again, that tip line for Saved in America is 760-348-8808. So if you are in need of help or you know someone who does, make sure to call that number. And again, you don't charge for your services.
We do not. We do not. And that's why it's so important. If you have a child that's missing, it's very important to reach out to us within the first 48 hours because they most likely, after 48 hours, they will be lured by a pimp and be trafficked. So again, call our line, go to our website, savedinamerica.org. You can email us at info@savedinamerica.org. Reach out to us, and we are here to help save your children.
Really important information, Stephanie. Really appreciate you taking the time to fill us in on this. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we go?
I want to thank everyone for your time. We are supporting the law enforcement in our community. As you can see what's going on in our community, it's more important now. Our predators are here in our backyard. They have been, but they're more than ever since many have been released from prison, and they are targeting each and every one of our families. So please, 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 all I can say is keep an eye out. Be very, very aware of what your children are doing and have access to their locations, their phones, and all their social media.
All right. Well said. Thank you, Stephanie Myers, Advisory Board Member for Saved in America. Thank you for all that you're doing to help our community at this moment.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
All right. And thank you at home for watching. Have a great day, everybody.
News is more important today than ever before.
I'm currently outside Otay Mesa Detention Center.
I'm about to get a report at Sharp.
Out at Sunset Cliffs.
COVID testing site.
We live for these times when we're able to bring the news into the homes of people who need it the most.
I thank all of you for supporting our work.
When you subscribe to the paper, you're telling us that you believe in what we do.